Hello and welcome. Today we will be discussing the Feb-March 2025 paper 1-2 of Mathematics. Question 1 says write the number 20,000 in figures. The question gives 20,000 in its word format and we can use that to write it in its numerical format, which is 20,000. Question 2. Write 0.07 a as a percentage. To write 0.07 as a percentage, we can multiply 100 to it, which gives us 7. Thus the answer is 7%. B as a fraction. 0.07 as a fraction can be written as 0.07 by 1. Now if we multiply 100 to both the numerator and denominator, we'll get 7 by 100. Since this can't be further simplified, this is 7 by 100 is the answer. C. In standard form. Standard form requires a number from 1 to 10. So we need to transform 0.07 to 7. To do that, we have to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Since we moved the decimal point to the right to make it a larger number, the exponent for the base 10 will be negative. Moving 2 places gives us a negative exponent of minus 2. Thus, the answer is 7 into 10 to the power minus 2. The question asks us to list the factors of 18. There is 1, then 2 as 2 times 9 is 18. There is 3 as 3 times 6 is 18. But there is no 4 or 5. And then there's 6, 9 and finally 18. You can write them down in this box here. Question 4 says, find the value A, 10 cube. 10 cube means 10 into 10 into 10. Thus the answer would be 1 and the sum of all these 3 zeros, which is this. So the answer will be 1000. B, cube root of 27. We know that 3 to the power 3, or you can write 3 into 3 into 3 gives us 27. So automatically cube root of 27 will be 3. C question, 7 to the power 0. As we've learnt, any number to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Thus 7 to the power 0 is equal to 1. Question 5a. On the diagram, draw all the lines of symmetry. This figure has 2 lines of symmetry, a vertical line and a horizontal line. 5b. Shade one square so that the diagram has a rotational symmetry of order 2. By rotational symmetry of 2, they mean that every 180-degree rotation, the resultant image should be the same as the original one. Here we can notice a similar pattern in the corners as well as here. The only missing box is this one. So we can shade this box here to get a rotational symmetry of order 2. Question 6 asks us to find the reciprocal of 0.25. By reciprocal, they mean to convert a fraction in form p by q to q by p. This switches the positions of the numerator and denominator. So first we write 0.25 as a fraction, which is 0.25 by 1. We multiply 100 to both the numerator and denominator, giving us 25 by 100. The reciprocal of 25 by 100 will be 100 by 25, sorry. And so 100 by 25, as we all know, is 4. Thus 4 is the answer. Question 7. Work out minus 6 into minus 3 plus 7 into 2. So according to board mass, we know that here, out of the multiplication sign and the addition sign, we have to first solve the multiplication part. So we first carry out minus 6 into minus 3, which gives us positive 18, plus 7 into 2, which gives us positive 14. When we add these two, we get 32. Thus, 32 is our answer. Question 8. Write these numbers in order starting from the smallest. To handle such questions, you are either supposed to convert all these numbers to a decimal or fraction. I'll be converting them to decimals. 34% can be written as 0.34. Pi is 3.14. 1 by 3 as 0.33. 3 as simply 3, and 3 by 10 as 0.3. Among these numbers, as you can see, 0.3 is the smallest. So I'll write 3 by 10 in the first blank. Please be careful to not write these converted versions, or else you can lose marks. After 0.3, you can see that 0.33 is the second smallest. So I'll write 1 by 3. After that comes 0.34, so I'll write 34%. And then comes 3, and lastly pi. Question 9. A film starts at 1935. The film lasts for 70 minutes. Work out the time the film finishes. 70 minutes is equal to 1 hour and 10 minutes. So if we add 1 hour to 1935, we'll get 2035. And if we add 10 minutes to that, we'll get 2045. Thus the answer is 2045. 10th question. A shape is drawn on a 1 centimeter square grid. A. Find the area of the shape. To find the area, there are two ways. We can either use the help of the grid to find the dimensions of this right angle trapezium and use the formula 1 by 2 into base 1 plus base 2 into height to find the area, or we can count all the whole squares in this grid that is covered by said trapezium. We will count these triangles as half a square, so 2 of them is equal to 1 whole square. This gives us 20 whole squares in this trapezium. Therefore, the answer is 20 centimeters square. B. On the grid, shade 50% of the shape. To shade 50% of the shape, we can simply shade 20 by 2 of the whole squares, which is 10 whole squares in this trapezium. By that, you will be shading 50% of the shape. Question 11. 19.5 into 20.4 equals to 397.8. Work out A. 1.95 into 2.04. So it's a common rule in decimals that if you're multiplying a number with one, for example, over here there's 1 decimal point for each of these numbers, so the answer is supposed to have 2 decimal points. That means the answer here is not just 397.8, it is actually 397.80. Over here in 1.95 into 2.04, there are 2 decimal points for each of the number. So the answer should be having 4 decimal points. So we convert 397.80 to a number which has 4 decimal points, which is 3.9780. We can cut out the 0 and write 3.978 as the answer. B question. 3978 divided by 204. In the equation 19.5 into 20.4, which gives us 397.8, if you take 20.4 to the other side, 397.8 by 20.4, this fraction is equal to 3978 by 204, as the only difference is that we are multiplying 10 to both the numerator and denominator, but the proportion is still the same, so the answer will still be 19.5. Question 12a. CAT has a method for finding the difference between two square numbers, a square minus b square. Her method is the sum of a and b into the difference between a and b. She shows her method for 17 square minus 13 square. Work out 29 square minus 21 square using CAT's method. So according to CAT's method, to solve 29 square minus 21 square, we should find the sum of 29 and 21, multiply it with the difference between 29 and 21. 29 plus 21 gives us 50, and 29 minus 21 gives us 8. So 50 into 8 gives us 400, and thus 400 is the answer. 12b. In this part, all lengths are in centimeters. The diagram shows a prism. Work out the volume of the prism. The formula for volume, as we all know, is base area into height. Here, the base area is this particular shape. To find the area, we have to divide this into two shapes, A and B. So base area equals, first we also need to find the missing lengths over here, which is basically 17 minus 13, giving us 4. So this length and this length is 4. So the area of A is 17 into 4, and the area of B is 13 into 4, which gives us 52 plus 68, giving us 120. So base area is 120. Now what is the height? It's given here that 100 is the height. So we multiply 100 to 120, which gives us 12,000. Thus the answer is 12,000 centimeter cube. Question 13. Convert 8 liters into centimeter cube. We know that 1 liter is equal to 1000 centimeter cube. So 8 liters will be equal to 8 into 1000 centimeter cube, which equals 8000 centimeter cube. Thus that's the answer. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. The rest of the questions from this paper is available in my next video.